Hello, everyone. Welcome to today, Tuesday. It's the second day of learning. Notice on our first slide here, our little instructions from our Bitmoji, it changed. Today, I want you to copy these 5 words and their definitions into a math notebook. Now, if you've been to school, you have a notebook that I gave you. It's based on your class period. If you don't have a notebook, at home, let me know. I'll be glad to bring one to and do a porch drop off if you need one. Um, so that is your assignment today is to copy these 5 vocabulary words and their definitions, including the examples, including the non-examples, into your notebook. This helpful hint over here is just that it's a helpful hint. You don't have to copy that in your notebook. You can if you'd like. It says, helpful hint, factors are gazintus. Now, I'm not sneezing or gazintus. It sounds like I don't know, German or something. But factors it's the small number that goes into the large number. Factor is like a factory, like making a number. We're going to make 12. So notice I start with my broadest pair. 1 is the smallest. 12 is my largest. 2 is next in line because we're going in order. 1, 2. And so I'm going to move my little self out of the way here. I don't like that guy anyway. Whatever. Okay. I'm going to undo that. That is not what I wanted to do. Okay. I'm trying to move this one. There we go. I'm moving him over here. All right. So we start with 1 and 12. Then we go 2 and 6. So notice I went 1, 2, 3. So what I'm doing is I'm starting with my broadest pair, 1 and 12. Now notice my guardrail gets smaller because I went 2. 2 is a factor of 12. So 2 times what gives me 12? Well, 6. 2 times 6 is 12. We're making 12. 12 is our horseshoe factory, in our horseshoe factory here. Now, notice by going in order, I've eliminated now 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 because I'm going in order with my small numbers. It narrows my gap down and it makes it less numbers I have to check. You do not have to do it this way. If you know all the factors of 12 and know you found them all, great. But if not, this is a way to help you check. So 1 and 12. Then we go 2. 2 is our next number on our small side. 2 and 6. Then we go 3. Well, 3 is a factor. And look what happened to our guardrail. We ran into ourselves. 3 and 4 are side by side. I don't have to check anymore. I know I found them all. Because 4 would be my next number, and it's already on this other side. It's on the big side. So I know I found them all. You're going to write down whole numbers, product, prime has exactly 2 factors, composite has more than 2 factors. So 12, for example, when you look at 12, see how it has lots of factors? It has more than 2, so it's composite. Notice the next thing, this is our agenda for today. I can find all the factors of a number. You're watching this video, so you're going to get the bell ringer answers. So I'm proud of you. And then you're going to copy those words into your math notebook and complete slide 4. So here we go down to our bell ringer. And it says Carl wrote the factors of 20 as 1 and 20, 2 and 10. But how can you help him find more? Well, one way to say is you got to keep going until you get all the way from 2 all the way over to 10. And if you find one and your guardrails shrink in, then you know you've found them all. So notice 1 and 20 is my broadest pair, right? You can't go under 1. You can't go over 20. That starts us out on our guardrails. Okay, 1 and 20. Now you're going to check 2. Well, 2 and 10, those are factors of 20. So it eliminates by going in order 1, 2, it eliminates then on that large side, it eliminates 11 through 19. Those are not factors of 20. We don't even have to check them. The next number we check, so go in order. The next number we check is 3. But 3 is not a factor of 20 because when we divide that out using this calculator here on our Chromebook down here at the bottom, we can see that it would give us a decimal, so it doesn't work. Then we check 4. Go in order and check numbers until you run into yourself. I hope that makes sense. If not, message me. I can talk you through it. So list all the factors. So notice we did 1 and 20. That's our broadest pair. 1 and 20. 2 and 10. 3 didn't work, but there's one more pair. 4 and 5. And look what happened. Our guardrails got side by side. 5 would be our next number that we would check, but it's already on this other side, so we know we found them all. Now look, how many factors does 20 have? Well, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 20 has 6 factors, so it is composite. Remember, if it only has 2, it's prime, and if it has more than 2, it's composite. So 6 is more than 2, so it's composite. That's your bell ringer for today. I hope you have a blessed day, and message me if you have any questions. I'll see you in a minute as we go over the next assignment, which is down here where we go over slide 4. Oh, wait, slide 4 is the only thing left, so I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to go on. Yeah. All right, prime and composite have exactly 2 factors, one in itself. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. 7 is a prime number. The only factors of 7 are 1 and 7. 2 through 6 don't work. We already know that. So it's important to know the first 5 prime numbers. Those are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. And in class, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be shooting those in class 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. And everybody was doing them today. That's why I'm hoarse. Okay? So let's go over some examples of composite numbers. We talked about 20 just a minute ago. 20 is a composite. Remember, I know this because it has more than 2 factors. In our notes, we see that 12 is composite. And there are many composite numbers. In fact, there's way more composite numbers than there are prime. So then we're going to go and look. And you're going to check by dividing each number by 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11 to see if it's prime or composite. So 37 is prime. 24, it's composite. It has more than 2 factors. And 11 is one of our first 5 prime numbers, so it is also prime. So we know it's the first 5 prime numbers. You can use that information about if a number, the first 5 prime numbers, you could take 37, for example, and divide it by 2. It doesn't work. You get a decimal. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to take my calculator here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you how I knew that 37 was prime. Well, I got to move myself again. All right. So if I take 37 and I divide it by 2, notice I'm going to get a decimal. See, 18.5. So 2 is not a factor. Now I'm going to take my next prime number. I'm going to take 37 divided by 3. If I get a decimal, I know that 3 is not a factor. Let's see. Oh, I get a decimal. See how there's a decimal or numbers to the right of my decimal? I know it's not a factor. My next one is 5. 37 divided by 5. I get a decimal. 5 is not a factor. 7.4. See how that has a 0.4? That's not a whole number. So we know 5 is not a factor of 37. All right? And the next one, notice I'm putting the big number in first. 37 divided by 7. We're checking to see if 7 is a factor of 37. I got a decimal. So that tells me it didn't work. 7 is not a factor of 37. Now I'm going to check 37 divided by 11. And some of you may already know that 37 is prime. And see how I get a decimal? Because it was a decimal, you didn't get a whole number for any one of those. You know it's prime. 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. I took my first 5 prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. I divided the number in question by those first 5 prime numbers. And if any of them gives you a whole number, you know it's composite. I'll show you another example. 24 was our number. And if I divide that by 2, I get a whole number, 12. See how my answer is whole? There's no numbers to the right of the decimal. So I know 2 is a factor of 24. There's other ways to know that 2 is a factor of 24, but that's the way that we're going to be doing it in class. You can maybe have your own little idea. Maybe you just knew. Maybe you know 2 times 12 is 24, and so you didn't have to check that one. But that's how I got these answers. We're going to be practicing some more on prime and composite, but the main idea for today is that there are 5 prime numbers. The first 5 prime numbers. You need to memorize those. 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. Those are the first 5 prime numbers. That's the big idea. And then we're going to be checking to see if a number is a factor of another number. Have a blessed day. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'll see you tomorrow as we go over some more factors in prime and composite.